Hello young readers, this is Ismail Sayed and today we are talking about, yes, the vocabulary of my friend Douglas. For today's objective, we are going to cover the meaning of the given words, including their synonyms and antonyms. If you want to learn more about Frederick Douglass, I recommend following this link, okay? It will lead you to the background history and the autobiography of Frederick Douglass himself and his connection to Abraham Lincoln. Yes, of course you know who is Abraham Lincoln. Now let's inspect our first word. Inauguration. Inauguration. Okay, now before I use it or use your skills of context clue to determine the meaning of the word, let's try to figure out what part of a speech it is. Okay, inauguration here, ation here. Yes, that's a suffix. It usually contributes with what? Yes, is the verb, noun, adjective, or adverb? Oh, yes, I can hear you say it's a noun. Amazing. All right, now let's move to our first example and to try to figure out the meaning of this word. Mr. Trump didn't attend Mr. Biden's inauguration, flying instead on Air Force One earlier in the day to his Florida home. Okay, now all the Americans are familiar with this word because this word has been in release or covered the head titles in use over the past 2 weeks. Why is that? Yes, because now President-elected Biden now became the official president of the United States and the Mr. Trump's presidency is over. Okay, so on Biden's inauguration day, Trump left the White House. He didn't attend it, unlike Bush or Clinton, Obama. Okay, so inauguration contributes with the presidents. Let's move to the next example. Every king was obliged on his inauguration to swear that he would govern justly and according to the law. Okay, here inauguration again. We said it contributes with what? With presidents. Like whom? Like Biden. Okay, here and say it contributes with kings. So the king swear something that he will be just. Okay, so inauguration here contributes with the rulers. Amazing. Okay, not just the presidents, not just kings. Now let's move to the sentence from the text. Douglass joined a festive crowd of 30,000 spectators at the U.S. Capitol to witness Abraham Lincoln's second inauguration. Okay, who is Abraham Lincoln? Will someone remind me? Yes, he was the United States president. Okay, for his second inauguration. Would you tell me how many times can a president be re-elected? Yes, twice, 2 times. Of course, too bad for Mr. Trump. That's why he was so upset and left the White House. Okay, so inauguration. He joined the crowd. The crowd, yes, the crowd were what? Yes, they were celebrating. Okay, celebrating the second presidency of Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so here a question for you. What happens at a presidential inauguration? Presidential inauguration. You can pause the video, discuss it, and come back with the answer. Yes, as you can see, the new president is sworn into his position and he makes an address setting out his intentions. So we're talking about the day that we celebrate the new president or the new king, and on that day he or she gives a speech. Okay, what do we call that speech? Yes, let's use some suffixes to shift from noun to adjectives. Yes, inaugural speech. Inaugural speech. So, inauguration here, that's a noun. So, can you tell me its definition? Ceremony. It's a ceremony to place a leader into office. It's a ceremony to place a leader into office. who this leader might be called? Yes, maybe president, maybe king. So the synonym for the word inauguration, it can be initiation. Okay, the antonym will be closure or end. Here, ending usually contributes with this, but let's focus that it's an end of an era, okay, of a reign. So the derivatives, as we have discussed, inaugural here, if you are familiar or can recall your prefix, the suffixes ul here contributes with what? Yeah, again, amazing. We're talking about adjective here. All right. Moving to the next word. Talking about ceremony, people are visiting, people are celebrating. We're talking about they are happy with their new elected or president. So let's move to the word jubilant here. Jubilant. Let's recall our information about prefixes and suffixes. Yes, and here usually contribute with what? Adjective. Excellent. I can hear you say that. Okay, can you give me examples with any word that ends with "ant"? Like when I say he has confidence, he is confident. Amazing. He has determination, so he is determined. Amazing. Okay, let's say he suffers from hesitation, so he is hesitant. Amazing. Okay, so this one is now, after we have covered that the word jubilant here is an adjective, let's inspect it in context. All right, moving to the first word sentence. The fans were in jubilant mood after the victory. So we're talking about fans and they won. Okay, so they became jubilant. Okay, would you describe your state after you win something? Of course, you become happy. So let's inspect more. The jubilant crowd joined the leaders for a celebration. Okay, so we're talking about people celebrating. So when you celebrate here, we're talking about what? You are mourning something, or you are sad or happy. Again, you are happy. Now, I guess that the picture is now clear. Jubilant here is an adjective and it means, it describes a state of happiness. Let's inspect it in the context, okay? Guns are firing, bells ringing, flags flying, men laughing, children cheering, all jubilant. Okay, now I can see the enthusiasm here. Okay, so again, we have covered that the word jubilant means what? Happy. So, jubilant is an adjective. Its a definition: overjoyed. The synonym: exultant. If you can't, I have used this particular synonym to remind you of the word used in "Oh Captain, My Captain," where people were celebrating and exalting the winning of the Civil War. Triumphant here. Yes, when you win something. That's one of the related words. It's not particularly a synonym. For the antonym, of course, you become what? If you lose, you become sad and depressed. Despondent. Despondent means disappointed for losing or for missing something. Let's use its derivative, jubilant here. This is an adjective, so its verb would be jubilate. Jubilate. Okay. Quick tip for the suffix ent. Ent here, that's the adjective that contributes with the at for any verb. Alright, so is it a fact? Yes, it's a fact. It usually happens. Like when I say celebrate, accelerate, accelerant, emigrate, immigrant, hesitate, hesitant, dominate, dominant. Get the idea? Yes. Eat and eat and. And we have for the noun jubilance, and of course how to shift from adjective to adverb by adding the ly at the end. Jubilantly. Okay? So the crowd celebrating jubilantly over the winning of President Abraham Lincoln. Okay? So jubilant, jubilate, jubilance, and jubilantly. Alright? Jubilant means overjoyed, exultant, happy. Antonym, depressed or despondent. Moving to the next word, calamity. Calamity here, can you tell me, is it, before we move into context, is it adjective, verb, noun, or adverb? Calamity here, it reminds me of authority, it reminds me of responsibility, okay, practicality, visibility. Okay, so we're talking about what? Noun. Amazing. Okay, let's inspect it in the context. An optimist sees an opportunity in every calamity. A pessimist sees a calamity in every opportunity. So here again, opportunity, calamity. So calamity, opportunity, okay, that's a noun. Amazing, wonderful. Okay, so an optimist person, someone who sees the good in everything. So see the opportunity in calamity. A pessimist, someone who sees the bad part, the empty part of the cup, sees calamity in every opportunity. Calamity here refers to something good or bad. Yes, something bad, something not good at all. Okay, now let's have a clearer perspective of the word. The disaster distressed helpline law is a 24/7 365 days a year national hotline dedicated to providing immediate crisis counseling for people who are experiencing emotional calamity. Okay, so that's a hotline to help people who are experiencing emotional calamity. So calamity here contributes with what? Yes, I can see that's one of the Senate crisis, disaster, distress. Again, calamity here contributes with what? Crisis, disaster, distress. Okay, so again, that's bad, very, very bad. Okay, the word mentioned in My Friend Douglas. For Douglas, Lincoln's death was a personal as well as national calamity. He felt that he had lost a friend and how deeply he mourned. Okay, do you remember Oh Captain, My Captain, and Whitman described that he has lost a father? The same idea for Douglas here. Douglas considered Lincoln's death as a calamity, a personal calamity. So again, it contributes with something tremendous, something awful that requires mourning, not celebrating. Okay, so calamity here, what's its meaning? Do you have a clue? Yes, as we talked about, it's a disaster, distress, crisis. So the synonyms, we said distress, misery. For the antonym, of course, we're talking about something happy now. Good fortune, alhamdulillah, or blessing. For its derivative, calamitous. If I want to shift from adjectives to adverb, you can add calamitiously ly at the end. Okay, let's skip this word. Thank you. Calamity. Let's inspect the following. Emancipation. Okay, with our knowledge of prefixes and suffixes, Asian here again, like we said, inauguration, differentiation, experimentation, personification, all of them are what? Nouns, okay? Not adjectives, not adverbs, not verbs. Alright, let's inspect the word in context. For the first example, we have the world rejoiced and identified Lincoln with emancipation and ending slavery. Alright, so Lincoln is identified or known for his what? Emancipation and ending slavery. Slavery here, it can be a synonym for what? Or the definition for the word was emancipation. Emancipation here, we're talking about the ending. Or it can be a synonym or antonym for the word slavery. Now I can get a clue of the meaning or the definition of the word. For the next example, there was one significant into here, okay, qualification. Emancipation was the ultimate objective of every abolitionist. Who are the abolitionists? Yes, every abolitionist is the man or woman who fought for the right of slavery or for slaves. They wanted to end slavery. So emancipation, we're talking about what? Yes, you can get it. Now, from the text here, to move against slavery, for resisting the enlistment of black soldiers, for inviting blacks to leave the land in which we were born, but with emancipation and in the aftermath of war. Do you remember the Civil War? What was it about? What was the cause of the war? Yes, it was slavery. Okay, the war started and ended with what? With the end of slavery, with the emancipation of every, come on, every what? Black person. Okay? Now, did you get the clue of what do you mean by emancipation? Alright, for these following questions, how blacks and whites in South might have thought of the word emancipation? Would they like it or not? Of course they do. They have won the war. They have gained their freedom. Okay? They don't have to work or to work to death for the white man anymore. Now, blacks probably viewed the word with pride as a symbol of their entry into citizenship. Now they became soldiers, they became citizens, they became workers. Now they have the right to be educated. Alright? Unlike the southern whites, the people who lived in the south of America, may have viewed the word as what? Yes, it contributes with anger. It's a symbol of their defeat because they wanted to keep enslavement alive. They have lost a lot. It's free labor. So emancipation here, that's a noun. So the definition, freedom from slavery. The synonym, we're talking about liberty. For the antonym, slavery. The derivative, emancipate. Emancipate. Emancipator. Here, my word for you is to stop racism. Racism against racism here refers to racial discrimination or judging a person according to his ethnicity or his background nationality. Alright, thank you for listening. Study hard and stay safe.